Hello friends, my name is Swapnil Wagh, Assistant Professor in Botany at Arts, Commerce, Science College, Chandwad. Today we are going to study Introduction to Plant Physiology. First of all, what is meant by plant physiology, or how we can define plant physiology? Plant physiology is the branch of life science or botany. It deals with study of different metabolic processes. See the first slide. Introduction to plant physiology. Definition: plant physiology, the most challenging, dynamic and modern discipline of botany, deals with various metabolic processes and pathways in plants and microbes. Various functions performed by plants include seed germination, then growth and development, absorption of water and minerals, ascent of sap. What is meant by ascent of sap? Means upliftment of water by plants is known as ascent of sap. Then translocation of organic solutes. Translocation means transfer of organic solutes from leaves to other parts of plants. Then transpiration means evaporation of water through stomata is known as transpiration. Then photosynthesis, it is actually most important metabolic process in which starch are synthesized. Then respiration, this is also the important metabolic process during which ATP are synthesized by using oxygen. Then photorespiration, photo means light. In presence of light, sometime plants show respiration, means when conditions are adverse or temperature is very high, then plant generally show the respiration, and this phenomenon is known as photorespiration. Then photoperiodism, photo means light. In presence of light, flowering occurs in plants is known as photoperiodism. Then vernalization, vernalization in which in a cold condition the early flowering seen in plants, or when we treat the seeds with cold climate, then early flowering occur in plant is known as vernalization. Then ripening of fruits. Senescence, senescence means leaf fall and death of plants. These are the various metabolic processes from seed germination to death of plant. Then what are the importance of plant physiology? Plant metabolism, mainly catabolism and anabolism, is studied under plant physiology. Then what is meant by catabolism? Catabolism means the breakdown of complex food material into the simpler form. For example, glycolysis in respiration is a catabolic process in which the glucose molecule break down into the pyruvate and ATP are synthesized. Then anabolic process, what is meant by anabolism? Actually, the Calvin cycle or C3 cycle in photosynthesis is the anabolic process, because here the food material is synthesized in the form of starch. This is the first important of plant physiology. Then second one, the growth, then development, reproduction, flowering, fruiting and other important processes right from seed germination to death. About every plant covered in plant physiology, means from seed germination to the death, every metabolic process covered in plant physiology. This is the second important. Then see the third important. The knowledge of plant physiology strongly support other branches of botany or life science. For example, plant anatomy, in which we generally study the internal structure of plants. Then cytology, then genetics, then morphology, ecology. These are the branches of botany, and also it support the other branches of life sciences like biochemistry, cell biology, molecular biology, evolution, biotechnology, etc. These are the three major importance of plant physiology. Then see the next slide. Brief history of plant physiology. Early events in plant physiology. First one, in the early 16th century, Jan van, a Belgian physician, postulated that the source of plant growth and nourishment must be water alone. According to Jan, a Belgian physician, water is very necessary for the growth of plant. Then in the next century, Antoine found organic matter to be largely form of carbon and oxygen. For example, glucose is the organic material. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The formula is C6H12 and O6. Then Joseph, Jan and Jean demonstrated that leaves of plants in presence of light take up carbon dioxide and emit equivalent amount of oxygen. We know the photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, plants take up carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. Where this oxygen comes from? It is actually comes from photolysis of water. Therefore, water is very essential for the photosynthesis. Photolysis of water means water gets split. H2O gets split into hydrogen, two electrons and half oxygen molecule. And there are two parts of photosynthesis. One is the photo part and second one is the synthesis part. For photo part, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, in which electron is necessary, and therefore that electron comes from water molecule. Then later Nicholas noted that water was involved in process and the reverse occurred in the dark. Plants respire like animals, taking up oxygen and emitting carbon dioxide. Actually, when conditions are favorable for plants takes up carbon dioxide and carried out photosynthesis. But conditions are adverse. If temperature is very high, there is no availability of water, then plants show photorespiration. Means in presence of light they respire. They taking up oxygen and emitting carbon dioxide. Means both process are reverse. In favorable condition they show photosynthesis, and in unfavorable condition they show photorespiration. Then J.R. Mayer observed that process covered light energy into chemical energy of organic carbon. Actually, plants used light energy in the form of photons and it converted into the chemical energy during the photosynthesis. And by using this light energy, they synthesize organic material which consists carbon. Then in 19th century, photosynthesis, although not understood biochemically up to the 19th century, was established as a primary and essential synthetic process in plant growth. Up to the 19th century, photosynthesis not understood biochemically. Then see the important discoveries in plant physiology. These are some scientists and they discovered various discoveries by these different scientists. See the first one, Jan van Helmont. During the 15th to 16th century, he discovered that water must be source of material from which plant grow. Then Joseph, during the 17th and 18th century, he discovered that leaves of plant in presence of light take up carbon dioxide and emit equivalent amount of oxygen. Then Nicholas, in 17th to 18th century, during the 17th to 18th century, discovered that water was involved in the process of photosynthesis. I told that water is essential for photolysis. It donates the electron, also oxygen emit by water. Then next one, Julius. During the 18th century, he discovered that minor soil constituent like nitrogen, potassium, phosphate, sulfur and other elements had major importance in plant growth. We know that some are the macronutrients and some are the micronutrients are essential for the growth of plant. He discovered that nitrogen, potassium, phosphate and sulfur. You know the NPK, nitrogen, potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These are the macronutrients, while other sulfur, then zinc, these are the micronutrients. They are important for the growth of plants. Then Stephen Hales, during the 17th to 16th to 17th century, he is actually known as father of plant physiology, Stephen Hales. According to him, water from soil moves up the stems to leaves where it is lost as a water vapor, a process called transpiration. Means transpiration discovered by Stephen Hales. Then Henry Dixon and John Joly, they discover coherence between water molecule and their adherence to cell walls prevent taut water columns from breaking even in very tall tree. We know actually the ascent of sap, how water uptake by plants through xylem tissue. Actually some cohesive force and adhesive force are responsible for ascent of sap, and it is discovered by Henry Dixon and John Joly. Then E. Munch discovered the translocation of organic solutes. Translocation of organic solutes means the transfer of food material from leaves to roots or other parts of plants. This is also one major discovery. Then next one, C.B. Van Nel used radioactive water to show oxygen release from water, not from carbon dioxide, and this phenomenon is also known as photolysis of water. That oxygen comes from water molecule. Actually in photolysis of water, that water molecule split into 2 hydrogen, 2 electron and half oxygen. If one water molecule is breakdown, then it emit half oxygen molecule. Then Charles Darwin discovered that phototropism. means bending in response to unilateral light. Phototropism means the tip of tree or a plant, it bends toward the blue light, and this phenomenon discovered by Charles Darwin. The next one is the Melvin Kelvin and Andrew Benson discover phosphoglyceric acid as the first product of photosynthesis. The reaction sequence of photosynthesis is known as Calvin cycle. It is also known as C3 cycle, awarded Nobel Prize in 1961. Actually, Melvin Kelvin discovered the Calvin cycle. It is also known as C3 cycle. It is the major synthetic pathway in the photosynthesis. It is responsible for synthesis of starch, and first product in Calvin cycle is the 3-phosphoglycerate, or it is also known as phosphoglyceric acid. Then see the next one, Robert Emerson and William Arnold in 19th century. They found that about 2500 chlorophyll molecules cause evolution of one oxygen molecule in photosynthesis. Actually, more than 2500 molecules, pigments, are present in leaves. Then see Robert Hill in 19th century discover the steps involved in light reactions and prove that oxygen evolved in photosynthesis comes from water by splitting of water molecule during photolysis of water. Actually, we discussed earlier that water split, and this phenomenon is known as photolysis of water. Actually, water split in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where it donates the electron for non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where ATP and NADPH2 are synthesized. Therefore, this is a very important phenomenon, that is photolysis of water, and it discovered by Robert Hill. Then Hill and Bendall in 1960 proposed the G scheme indicating involvement of two photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 in photosynthesis. Actually, these photosystems are part of cyclic as well as non-cyclic photophosphorylations, and these photosystems have some pigments. They generally absorb light energy in the form of photon, and it convert into the chemical energy. And also these photosystems, they actually donate or transfer the electron to the next acceptor by using the light energy. And Hill and Bendall proposed the Z scheme indicating involvement of two photosystems, means non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It look like Z alphabet. Then Bidwell, Tolbert and Argon during the 19th century discover photorespiration in plants, which is known as C2 cycle. I already told that photorespiration, photo means light, in presence of light sometime plants show respiration. They are taking up oxygen and release carbon dioxide. It is also known as C2 cycle. C2 means first compound form is the 2-carbon compound. It is actually the phosphoglycolate. Therefore, it is also known as C2 cycle. Then see, next one is the H.P. Kortschak, MD Hatch and CR Slack found in sugarcane and maize. Once the CO2 is accepted, the end product is not phosphoglyceric acid but a C4 acid like malate or aspartate. The CO2 acceptor is not RUDP but phosphoenol pyruvate. Actually, it is also known as C4 pathway. Hatch and Slack pathway, in which first compound is formed. It is the 4-carbon compound. It is also known as oxaloacetic acid, and then it converted into the malate or malic acid. The CO2 acceptor in this reaction is not RUDP, but it is phosphoenol pyruvate. Actually, in a C3 cycle, CO2 acceptor is the Rubisco enzyme. Actually, in a Calvin cycle, but in a C4 cycle or CAM pathway, crassulacean acid metabolism pathway, first CO2 acceptor is the phosphoenol pyruvate. It is very important. See, this is the phosphoenol pyruvate, and they discovered the C4 cycle. It is also known as Hatch and Slack pathway. Actually, the C4 cycle seen in C4 plants like sugarcane and maize, also in other plants. Then next one, Osmond and Haltom, Klug, Ting, Andrew, then Griffith in 19th century discovered that in some plants there is a nocturnal fixation of CO2 into oxaloacetic acid, which is reduced to malate stored in vacuoles. In presence of light, malate is released from vacuole, decarboxylated, and resulting CO2 is fixed in Calvin cycle. This pathway found in plants belonging to Crassulaceae. This is also known as CAM plants, example Bryophyllum. This is also one of the important discovery. In some plants like xerophytes, crassulacean acid metabolism is found, and it is discovered by these 4 to 5th scientists. In this pathway, generally phosphoenol pyruvate absorb or takes up carbon dioxide and converted pyruvate into the oxaloacetic acid. Then oxaloacetic acid get converted into the malate or malic acid. It's stored in the vacuole during the night, and during the day condition, in presence of light, the malate is released from the vacuoles and decarboxylation takes place. CO2 get released and it used for the synthesis of starch in Calvin cycle. This is also one major pathway. It is known as crassulacean acid metabolism. Then Emden, Maharouf and Parnas, they discovered breakdown of glucose to pyruvate, which was known as EMP pathway or glycolysis. Generally, the first pathway of respiration is the glycolysis, in which glucose get converted into the pyruvate and ATP are synthesized. And this pathway, EMP pathway, it is also known as EMP pathway, discovered by Emden, Maharouf and Parnas. Then Sir Hans Krebs and co-workers discovered breakdown of pyruvate into CO2 and H2O during aerobic respiration. This is also known as Krebs cycle or TCA cycle. Hans Krebs and the co-workers, means this is the next pathway of respiration. Pyruvate, when glucose break down into the pyruvate from cytosol goes inside the mitochondria, where complete oxidation of pyruvate takes place, and it is known as tricarboxylic acid cycle or Krebs cycle. Then Garner, W.W. and Allard, H.A. in 1920 coined the term photoperiodism and studied flowering in plants. Photoperiodism means in presence of light, flowering takes place inside plants or flowering occur in plants is known as photoperiodism, which is discovered by Garner and Allard. Then next one is the Lysenko and Gassner. They proposed low temperature induced flowering in plants. It is also known as vernalization. In a low temperature, generally flowering occur in plants, or if we want early flowering in plants, then give treatment or cold treatment to the seeds, and this phenomenon is known as vernalization, which is discovered by Lysenko, Krebs and Gassner in 19th century. Then Charles Darwin, then Boysen, Jensen, Pahl and Thiemann found highest concentration of oxygen in tips of plumule. Actually, the phototropism, in which the tip of plant get bent toward the blue light due to oxygen synthesis in that tip, and this is found by Charles Darwin, Boysen, Jensen, Pahl and Thiemann. Then Yabuta and Sumiki in 1938 isolated gibberellins from fungus Gibberella fujikuri. Actually, gibberellic acid or gibberellins are useful for seed germination, or they break the dormancy of seeds. There are various forms of gibberellins, G1, GA1, GA2, GA3 and so on. And there are about 84 gibberellins discovered, and these all are responsible for the germination of seeds. Then Skug, Miller and Strong in 1950 discovered cytokinin in coconut milk. Cytokinin is one of the phytohormone useful for cell division. Then Burke in 1962 claimed that fruit ripening is due to the gaseous hormone ethylene. Ethylene is actually one of the gaseous hormone, and it is responsible for the fruit ripening, discovered by Burke. Then Professor R.D. Asana established a plant strain with disease-free and fast-growing seed-beside seeds that require less water and could be grown during drought. Actually, R.D. Asana is the famous Indian physiologist. Then see some eminent plant physiologists in India. The work of Professor Chinoy, then R.D. Asana, Professor K.K. Nanda, Professor V.S. Ramdas, Professor G.V. Joshi, Professor K.S. Murthy, Professor D.N. Tyagi, Professor G.S. Sirohi, then Professor R.H. Dastur, Professor Sen, Professor Sinha, S.N. Bharadwaj have laid down the foundation of plant physiology in India. These are the eminent physiologists in India. Then scope of plant physiology in different branches of botany or life science. Actually, the scope of plant physiology in anatomy. In anatomy, we generally study the internal structure of plants or plant parts. Then plant evolution, morphology, evolution, genetics, taxonomy, then ecology, cytology. These are some branches. Generally, plant physiology having scope in the different branches of life sciences as well as botany. Then application of plant physiology in different disciplines of science. I summarize some disciplines of science here in a biochemistry, genetic engineering, phytochemistry, fuel technology, biofertilizers, seed technology, biosynthesis, biological control, biomass technology, post-harvest technology, chemotaxonomy, crop physiology, food technology, polyhouse or greenhouse, medicine, tissue culture, space science, horticulture, ecophysiology, then floriculture, pharmacognosy, stress physiology, pathophysiology, fodder technology, agriculture, biotechnology, biophysics, transgenic plants. In various disciplines of science, there are various applications of plant physiology. Actually, these are the different branches of plant physiology. This is all about the introduction to plant physiology. For the chapter, I refer a textbook of taxonomy of angiosperm plant community and plant physiology for SYBSc botany by Nirali Prakashan. I hope you understand the topic, and in next lecture we are going to discuss the second chapter, that is ascent of sap. Thank you guys.